Hey everyone, welcome into TexAgs Rewind. I am David Nuño. My director is Nick Savage, and we are here on a Tuesday, January the 16th, and it is cold outside, but not as frozen as Monday, Nick.
Yeah, roads weren't that bad getting here, but, you know, we're still, I'm freezing, as you can see. I have like 3 jackets on. It's always cold back here, but I'd say it's better than yesterday.
You're going to think I'm making fun of you. I'm not. I'm actually giving you a compliment. I like the John Dutton look. I've told you before. It's a good look.
I appreciate the compliment. Not going for a John Dutton look, but I'll take it.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit
I'll tell you what's on the rewind like John Dutton if you'd like.
Yeah, if John Dutton were here, what would he say about the rewind today?
All right. Shemar Turner returned for another year.
That's Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay, then what, Sling Blade?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Aggie Hogs preview with John Nabors.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
That's just 2 completely different accents. So we'll just go with Ty Warren. He was on the program, as well as Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball, talking a little Aggie baseball, basketball, and football on this rewind.
Check it out. And baseball, you name it, right here on the rewind.
I know y'all break it down a little bit more, but I'm sure y'all saw a pretty big announcement coming for A&M football.
Could have been our lead.
Yeah. Shemar Turner returning to A&M. I guess yesterday was the deadline for him to enter the NFL draft. He doesn't do it. And then he tweets out this pretty little graphic running it back. So happy to have him back. Really that defensive line is turning into something really, really special.
Could be, I got to tell you, and again, this isn't a knock on anybody, but I'd rather have Shemar Turner back than Ross York back because.
Hey, Ross, he's right there, actually.
And I would say that, and he would understand.
He would be like, I would too.
Because Shemar Turner will have a bigger impact on Texas A&M winning football next year than Ross York would.
That defense. We always knew they would be good because of coaching, right? And by the way, DJ Durkin did a fine job.
No, he didn't, but go on.
He did a fine job.
He sucked, but go on.
They got to the quarterback a lot last year, and the linebacker play was better.
The linebacker play was much better.
Significantly better, right?
Edgerrin Cooper, you did a great job.
Yeah. So, but my point is, there was a little concern this year that you knew Mike Elko was going to be a defensive plus, but losing some dudes. Mm-hmm. Keeping some dudes and adding some dudes to this defense, to me, is what I'm excited about. Some of the names, obviously Shemar Turner. You got the other Shemar Stewart, DJ Hicks, Nick Scorton, GBD.
Gabriel Brownlow Dindy.
Malik Sela,
I like him.
Samu Damu Pepe.
Okay, the big guy.
Ian I. White.
I like
Just
him.
making some names.
Yeah.
Did I say Malik Sela yet?
Yes.
Cassius Howell.
New guy, right?
Cassius Clay Howell.
Yeah.
And Rodus Johnson. That's just the defensive line.
And here's what I'm excited about, because I think they're going to be, this isn't a knock on Robertson, but I think they're going to be better utilized. I think they're going to, I'm just guessing based on what I saw before with Elko, I'm guessing that they're going to take their starting defensive linemen, whoever their 4 best
Keep them in their lumber.
And they're going to play more than their backups.
What's the deal? What's going on there in Fayetteville?
Well, you say you're trying to figure out what's going on with Arkansas. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Arkansas. I think Eric Musselman's trying to figure out what's going on with Arkansas. It's been one of the weirdest things and most unpredictable things that Eric Musselman has gone through as coach at Arkansas. I mean, let's be honest. He's had a lot of success, especially in March. He's been 8-3 in the last 3 NCAA tournaments. Everything's been great. But this year, it seemed the talent was there. He did a great job in the portal like he's always done. He had some key returners, especially Devo Davis, who's been around on all those NCAA tournament teams. Trevin Brazil, who was out most of the year last year with an injury, extremely athletic and extremely gifted. And putting the pieces together and getting all these guys, it seemed like it was set up for another great year for Arkansas and Eric Musselman. And the year's not over, but this has been a team that you can't figure out. Nobody can figure out. It's inconsistent in every level. There's really nothing good about it, at least anything that you can say, hey, this is why Arkansas can be okay and maybe get it going. But each and every night is a completely different game and a completely different team that we see each and every time out.
Talking to John Nabors. So, John, I didn't see the game against Florida, but I know there was a huge run. I think it was, 24-3 to that effect. Was that the problem in the game, or was it an all-game long kind of situation?
I mean, it was a problem all game long, because even in times against Georgia, for instance, before the Florida game they had on the road, they were in the game. They were in contention. They were right there, but then just one thing bad happened, and then another bad thing happened, and it just went out. It's almost like as soon as a couple things go bad, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to battle through adversity. They don't know how to come back from it. And when mistakes get made, Eric Musselman's policy has always been, hey, if you don't do the simple things that I'm requiring you to do, I'm taking you out and I'm putting someone in. And a lot of times, in most cases, that's worked in previous years. But unfortunately for Arkansas, every time they take somebody out for making those mistakes, the mistakes get made by the next person up.
Big news for A&M's defense. Shemar Turner says he's going to run it back. He could have gone to the NFL. I think long-term, this is going to help him in the NFL and obviously help the A&M defense this upcoming year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the Aggies benefit from that. I think that was a huge decision by him to make. And then when you assemble his skill and ability with the other talents that they've brung in this winter, I think the sky's the limit. I think of Nick, kid there from Bryan that I've seen grow up and been around that place here for the next 2 years. And so just thinking about those two guys working together and some of the other additions that they've made, I think it's going to be huge. From the time that kid Shemar stepped on the deal, I was doing some commentary stuff up there with Gabe. And I mean, he's a guy that probably remind me the most of myself, just body type wise and kind of what he's asked to do. Not to glorify myself on any level, but I just look at the body type and the fact that he was a tweener. He's not a and Leal was kind of the same thing, kind of 5 technique that you can bump down to the inside. Not really a large butt, guy that you just stick down in the middle, but also not a uber fast guy that's going to just blaze around the corner, but can do both. And when you think about a defensive lineman, not just a defensive end or a defensive tackle, he falls under both of those categories. And so I think he's a unique talent. I think A&M should be successful with him this year.
Talking to Ty Warren here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's keep it with the NFL. Dan Campbell, man, getting it done. Aaron Glenn getting it done. Some great Aggies out there, man. I'm sure you've been paying attention.
Absolutely. Man, happy for both Dan and Aaron. I think they're doing an exceptional job. Dan, I mean, when he first busted onto the scene in his press conference, it cracked a lot of the football fans up. Some of the things that he had to say in his first presser. But I would also say, the key to their success is him being his authentic self.
All right, let's go through part of this top 10 list, too, because you've got Wake Forest number 1, and then 6 SEC teams in the top 10, which is, I guess, just another year of baseball in the SEC.
Yeah. The bad thing about the SEC is that, you can be really good and you're still like 5th or 6th in the conference. But, I just think when you look at this league overall, I mean, obviously it kind of starts with Florida. Some might be a little surprised to see Florida that high with some of the key pieces like Brandon Sproat they lost from last year. But, Jack Caglione's back, Luke Hyman's back. They added some really talented pieces like Colby Shelton, the Alabama transfer. Arkansas is going to be ultra loaded as usual, particularly on the mound. They get Hagen Smith back for yet another season, East Texas native. And they also added one of the top freshman pitchers in the country in Hunter Dice this fall and the spring as well. So Arkansas is going to be really deep. And then you have the defending national champions. You talk about how good the SEC is. The defending national champions coming in at 3rd in the SEC. And, the big question with LSU is they no longer have Paul Skeens. They no longer have Dylan Cruz. But I think LSU is going to be much deeper on the mound. The question for me as well is how different will this offensive lineup be? They lost some key pieces. They do get Tommy White back, but circle the name Jake Brown. He's a really talented, corner outfielder, big time power. He reminded me just a lot of Grahovic in the sense of like how much impact he can make from day one. I think he's a kid that'll hit 320, 330 with 15, 16 home runs this year. So LSU is going to be really good. And of course, you kind of get on the list real quickly with Vanderbilt and Tennessee. There's other top 10 teams, 6 of the top 10 being from the SEC. Vandy's very deep on the mound. They got some high-end arms in the front of that rotation. And then Tennessee guys, the question for me is the pitching staff outside of Drew Beam on Friday nights. He's an All-American. How does the rest of the staff kind of unfold is the question.
Mr. Dutton, tell the people what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe, stay off my land. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched that show in a while.
Stay off my land. Are they going to kill him off? Is that what they're going to do?
I think the show's over, isn't it?
They got to finish
It really should be over. They kind of ruined it in the last season or so.
Political Dutton? Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, see you next time.